All right, so let's make sure. Okay, I'm pretty sure we are good to go. Here we are. Just make sure. Let me put these links everywhere. I'll wait for people to hop in here and we can chit chat a little bit here. And of course, I named this incorrectly. Nice. Let me. Oh, nice, nice. Good job, Brandon. Let's see. There we go. That should be fixed now. Let's see. Now it says Xfinity. Talking about the Xfinity Race. Okay, cool. We got that. And let me just kill some time. Let people hop in here. Give me a second to just. Guess I should have got this ready before, but oh well. Man. NASCAR and good old Daytona. There we go. Alright, let me get that there. Let me get this open up. Alright, let me get that there. Let's see there. Okay, alright, we got that. Let's see there. Bring this up. Let me make sure this is public. Okay, cool. There we are. Okay, I got that. I doubt anybody's going to really want to hop in this early, but we'll chit chat here for a bit. All right, as I get these all started up here. Let me get that. I'm mainly just waiting for people to join or ask questions, things like that before I really start breaking stuff down here. Let's see any of that. Blades. Speeds. Oh, I already have that actually. I already have Xfinity Daytona. Let's see, I have those guys there. Generated points. Let me get that in here. All right, well, we got like 4 people in here, so I mean, mainly the gist of this is play guys from the back and everything of that nature, that sort. I'm gonna be doing my Patreon projections. Can you even hear me? Hope you can. We'll be doing my Patreon projections as we go through this, and I don't have anything on the screen because Pierce is normally here, and that's his sheet. It's not my sheet, so I don't feel right for me to put this on the screen when it's certainly not. So I'm gonna just mainly focus. I'm just gonna really show the starting grid, and we'll wait for more people to get in here. Why I do that? Yeah, Pierce can't join us. He had a power outage issue this morning, so I'll be running solo, probably to like bottom of the hour. 25 minutes, 20 minutes, somewhere of that nature. Go here. And let's see. Oh, we got 10 people in here now. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to talk about other than, I'm going to be really focusing on guys from the back and really hoping that these guys continue to wreck like they did in the truck series. I don't even know if we're going to get this race in today. It's really looking like we're not going to. But if we do, that's going to be great because they'll be racing against the rain. And typically, whenever these idiots are wanting to beat the rain or outrace the rain or whatever case that may be, they normally wreck a lot. So we can really use that to our advantage and really stack from the back like we normally do. But even more so. Especially if the race does, if the race starts today and it is stopped by rain, it's sorry. If it is stopped by rain, I mean they're racing halfway, and that means that these guys are going to be, they're guaranteed 2 restart or 3 restarts. Obviously, you have the initial restart, you have the stage 1, and then as soon as we get to stage 2, it's, or actually once we get to halfway, it's official. But I imagine we're going to at least see stage 2, and if we do that, we have a good chance of having these guys wreck a lot. I mean, very high on Land the Castle right off the bat. Land the Castle is looking really good. I think he'll perform very well. Ty Dillon should do great as well. He'll just carry a lot of ownership. All AJ Allmendinger, I'm a bit concerned about because obviously he'll be up in the front. He'll be racing hard, but well, I mean he's starting 31st. That's not horrible. It could be worse. I'm more worried about AJ Allmendinger wrecking the field, not wrecking the field, but being involved in a wreck or having. I know he doesn't have Chastain to really worry about this year, but I'm really concerned about AJ Allmendinger getting involved in a wreck. Cody Ware should do great. Actually, I need to really bump up Cody Ware because this will be a great example of what he's going to do tomorrow. Danny Bone's probably going to have low ownership. People are afraid to play him. I'll give Matt Mills something else. Let's do Chad. Chad will probably wreck. I'm guessing that. Let's see. Any questions? Anybody got anything for me here? I mean, like I said, there's not really much to talk about. It's plate track. It'd be different if we were focusing on, dominators or focusing on, and God, I hope, yeah, I have that muted. And, we're normally focusing on, dominators or, the pivot that you have to worry about, the guy who has sponsorship that you need to worry about, but you really don't have to worry about that. The main thing that we'll be fighting today is ownership. And as we saw last night, the chalk, I mean, it's a plate track, so like James Buescher, Derek Kraus, Stuart Friesen, I mean, like, they didn't kill your lineups, but they certainly weren't good. I certainly don't call that chalk busting because I still cashed with those guys, and I did very well pivoting off those guys as well. So if you built a lineup last night with a lot of the chalky plays, you didn't necessarily lose your ass like I would imagine you will today in this race, because let's see, a lot of the ownership is going to go to probably, I would argue, AJ Allmendinger, Ty Dillon, probably Timmy Hill, let's see, maybe Jeffrey Earnhardt, Jesse Little, Robbie Lyons, maybe that area. I think people are going to be really terrified to play people like Jason White and stuff like that. I hope Robbie Lyons does good. I used to race against him on iRacing quite a bit. Tommy Joe Martin, that'll probably be a wreck. Ryan Vargas is probably going to be a wreck. Kobe Howard, probably going to be a wreck. Alex LeBay will probably survive. Joe Graff Jr. I was super tired last night when I was making my little audio, and I was like, nah, Kobe Howard, Matt Mills, they ain't in the race where they are. I was just super tired last night. Josh Williams could get something done here, but I'm not too worried about. I don't really like that a whole lot. Let's see, what else is there? But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, this is going to really rely off of questions, because otherwise it's just going to be me kind of doing my projections and kind of just repeating the same thing. If I'm taking guys from the back, really leveraging ownership. If I can do that, if I can't, I can, I don't see a reason why you can't leverage ownership a lot. I mean, and another thing that we need to really look at is that DraftKings, I know we have Coca-Cola on the screen on the NASCAR website right now, but DraftKings is going to push the shit out of their sponsorship. Tomorrow for the 500, and yesterday they had a lot of advertisements on NASCAR.com for DraftKings, and so we'll probably see a lot of new faces here, a lot of new guys, a lot of new players getting into the game. DraftKings, the game inside the game. Josh Berry, why is Josh Berry? That's a shame. Josh Berry's starting so high up. He'll wreck because he's an idiot. Josh Berry is a moron. He blocks and wrecks people like crazy. I know he's going to do something stupid. Let's see. I'm mainly projecting for, like I said, a lot of big wrecks in the front, taking out a lot of these guys. I can't. I can't project for, all these guys to wreck, but that's certainly what I'm going to go with. Let's see here. Who else is popping up for me? I mean, Jason White. I really like Bassarelli. I like Greg Golding. Weatherman, Castle. Castle should do really well. I think Castle is probably the best play. If you think this race goes green and you don't think there's a lot of wrecks, Castle is probably the best play because I imagine that he's going to really get through the field pretty easily. In a sense of like if it goes green, I think he can race his way up and really compete for a win, not needing a lot of people to wreck. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Okay, all right, we got that squared away. How many laps is this race? Should be 120. Oops, sorry. Should be 120. All right. Xfinity schedule. Oh my gosh. Xfinity series. Xfinity series schedule. Let's check this out. Okay. So what do you think? What do you think that all these drivers have a decent equipment? I know sometimes you get. Everybody has sponsorship here. Everybody has had the whole off season to prepare for this race. If there was one race, yeah, it's 120 laps. If there was one race where I'm not really concerned about what type of equipment people are running, it's this one. Everybody ran practice yesterday. I mean, you had, the regular, some guys can't get their car fired, some guys can't do this, some guys can't do that. But you had a lot of you had everybody run laps. Everybody ran competitive lap times. I don't see anybody starting and parking. I mean, obviously I can't really project for mechanical failures. The only guys I would kind of worry about that would be the Mike Harmon cars, but even then, those guys got a ton of sponsorship over the year. Like they got a lot of sponsors coming into Mike Harmon, which is really surprising. Because that's a team you wouldn't expect to do very well in the off season, and they did extremely well. They, like I said, picked up a lot of sponsorships, and I mean not just from one particular sponsor. I mean they have an apparel contract with somebody who's making their like T-shirts and stuff. They have some more Back the Blue organizations on their car. They have some more. Actually, I gotta go down to AJ. They have more. Just a lot more attention on him this year. I think the whole, and this is not getting political, but I think the whole Black Lives Matter movement and the resistance to that in, the diehard section of NASCAR or the diehard, conservative area and the attitude towards police really helped Mike Harmon get sponsorship and get a lot of support, because whereas a lot of people were kind of denouncing the police and not really supporting them, they would constantly carry police organizations or police related paint schemes and support them. And so I think that's where a lot of that ownership came from. I think that was a really smart move financially for Mike Harmon to do, because they gained a lot of sponsors there. Just make sure we're still live here. And I mean, like I said, the reason I'm leaving this on the screen is, these are the guys you got to focus lineups on. We're not, and this ain't even, I mean, there's no, look, I mean, AJ Allmendinger, yes, he can win the race. Yes, he can wreck. I mean, AJ Allmendinger really has nothing to lose here. He's probably the favorite to win the championship. He's going to be starting first, so I would imagine not AJ Allmendinger. I would imagine Austin Cindric leads a good portion of the laps in the beginning, probably up until the first stage. I don't see him really relinquishing the lead, and so I have him projected for a lot of early laps led. I don't really like this group of drivers here between, really second through, 14th and stuff like that. I'm not really interested in that. The main guys that I'm going to focus on are back here, even if they're high owned, like AJ Allmendinger, Ty Dillon. I mean, these guys are going to be high owned and for good reason, but I mean, they have the upside of possibly getting a win here, and so that's something you don't normally have with a lot of these back marker groups. And I mean, I would much rather play if you're gonna really chase chalk and try and get a lap leader or a winner. I mean, Ty Dillon, AJ Allmendinger is where I'd go for that. I wouldn't. I'm not even gonna bother with Austin Cindric. Um, I mean, Austin Cindric has a chance to win the race, but I don't really see it, man. I see him possibly wrecking out. I see him possibly doing something stupid. Um, I'm just not a huge fan of Cindric here. I probably need to bump AJ Allmendinger's laps led up because I think AJ Allmendinger is going to try and get to the front. Even Justin Haley to an extent. Let's give Justin Haley some laps led too. Take one of these away. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, my projected lap leaders, and the Xfinity Series is probably the only series that um, I would really focus on a lap lead. Like, if you want to take that approach when building lineups, building with a lap leader in mind for a plate track, Xfinity would probably be the series that I would do that in. Um, Only due to the fact that, I mean, who's going to lead laps in this race? It's going to be Cindric, it's going to be AJ Allmendinger, probably Justin Haley, maybe Justin Allgaier, maybe Noah Gragson, Ty Dillon. Everybody else is not really going to be leading laps. Do you think we get a full? I don't. I do not think we get a full. Well, if we race tonight, I don't think we get a full race in. If we, and let me, I think if we start tonight, we end under yellow, but we get over halfway, and so the race is official. If we don't get the race started, I think we're racing probably Tuesday or Monday, probably right before or right after the 500. I don't know what they're going to do with the ARCA series because that, that's the one series I actually want to really watch. So they'll probably get the short end of the stick and have to race or come back to Daytona another time. What is your opinion on Stephen Parsons versus Timmy Hill, my last driver? They're both good. I think the Hill would probably have more ownership, just to the fact that he does extremely well at the plate tracks. Let me look. I mean, I personally like Stephen Parsons better, but if you look at Timmy Hill's, this is probably the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is the last 14 finishes for Timmy Hill at Daytona and Talladega, with the Daytona finishes first. So we got 22nd, 3rd, 21st, 19th, 7th, 17th, 11th, and then we go to Talladega and it's 18th, or 15th, my bad. 15th, 26th, 29th, 27th, 17th, and 21st. So Timmy Hill's, I would argue, worst case scenario, Timmy Hill finishes 24th today. I would argue Stephen Parsons has similar upside. He has one finish here at Daytona what is that? And Daytona 2015 fall race, and I don't think he was actually on DraftKings for that because I remember that I wanted to play him. He finished 13th in that race, and I don't think he was on DraftKings for that. So if people look and see how Steven finished, they'll see one 13th place finish. If people look at Timmy Hill, they're going to see multiple top 10s. They're going to see multiple finishes inside the top 22. So it really depends on how people really approach Timmy Hill here. I mean, I like them both. I would probably go to Steven for lower ownership. But that is just me. Kind of projecting lap or fast laps to be spread out throughout the field. Obviously, probably AJ Allmendinger and Ty Dillon would probably get a lot of the early fast laps because they're going to be driving through that field pretty quickly. But I project fast laps pretty evenly throughout this field. It's hard to really project anything more than that. Let me do that. What am I at here? And I mean, fast laps, and I don't think fast laps are any more or less important now than they were last year. I do think that they are huge in determining who wins GPPs and stuff, because I love that 0.45, because that really separates lineups very easily. 4 and 7, there we go. 24, oops. 4, let's try that. 3, let's try that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's see. How much Caesar is too much? Probably, can you play, actually, I'll read the first one first. Can you play Ty Dillon, Dinger, and Galding and still get different off chalk or other spots? I mean, people Busher was, what was Busher yesterday? This will be a great example. I mean, the race yesterday is a great example of how I think ownership is going to play in this race. So let's look at what Busher was yesterday, and let's see. Okay, so Busher, not in this lineup. Hold on. Busher was 48% owned yesterday. Where are the other guys at? Give me a moment here. Derek Kraus was 52% owned. And where was Friesen? Friesen was 46% owned. So I would argue that we're going to see very similar ownership to Ty Dillon, A.J. Allmendinger, and who's the other guy starting in the back? Sorry, I just went blank. Timmy Hill. I would argue A.J. Allmendinger, Ty Dillon, and Timmy Hill will probably be somewhere between 40 to 55% owned, maybe 60 if people are really hammering A.J. Allmendinger. Maybe AJ and Ty Dillon, they might push 52, 55% ownership, maybe even more. I could be wrong. I'm just trying to guess off the top of my head there. So if that's the case, I mean, you really don't have to pivot, one or two places in your lineup to be different. I am going to make lineups where I both play, Ty Dillon, AJ Allmendinger together. Other lineups where it's just one of those guys. Other lineups where it's just fading those guys. It just depends on how you want to create lineups there. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Let me get this done because I want to get this uploaded to Patreon to get it out of the way so I can go and buy some food, go buy some lunch. Let's see, I'll answer the next question right here. How much Caesar is too much? Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the $8 GPP for this was the $8 GPP. So Busher was at 48.3%. So he could have been higher in whatever contest you play. When I bring up ownership, I look at the $8 one. And hold on a minute. So all. Yeah, I mean, Drew Dollar at 9 is what won the tournament in the big. Yeah, are you talking about the 33 or which one? Because this was the winning lineup for the $8 GPP. So I'm not really sure which one you're referring to there, driver. He was sub 50. Yeah, I don't know what lineup or what is the big tournament that you're talking about? There, let me go through here. Let me finish this here. What the hell? Oh, that's why I did the wrong thing. Let me get rid of that. Let's see, almost there, almost down there, almost down there. And 8. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about in terms of Busher being. I mean, maybe I'm talking specifics and you guys are rounding up to 50%. But I mean, Busher was 48.3, which I mean, yeah, I guess that is 50. I was just referring to Wes's thing to where he said Busher was over 50%. I just wanted to clarify that he was not over 50% owned. And he didn't kill lineups either. It's the same situation with Ty Dillon and A.J. Allmendinger. If they finished last, they might. Okay, let me look. Hold on. If AJ finishes last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If he finishes last with no fast laps and no laps led, I think that's either, what the heck? Oh, I hit add. I was like, why is it in the positive? -8 points. You're looking around -8, -7 points. And this is kind of me doing rough math. We'll probably see around, if AJ Allmendinger didn't lead any laps, didn't lead any fast laps, or Ty Dillon You'll see them around either, you know, -9, -8, -7, somewhere around there. So let's see. Yeah, there was a stat fix, I think 15 minutes, maybe like 18 minutes after the race ended yesterday, and it did flip lineups. And I really gained from that in the $33 GPP. I think I finished fourth there. To be sure, they can't do. I mean, they technically can. Age Almanac, like if he finishes last, he'll do worse than Busher did. The only thing that helped Busher out was that he started dead last, and he couldn't. That's the definition of he couldn't lose you anything. I totally forgot what I was doing here. Oh yes. Yeah, that's what really helped those guys out last night, is that they weren't owned. And like Gus Dean, this is off the top of my head, I don't remember. I think Gus Dean was like, oh, here I'll actually tell you. I had Gus Dean in my highest lineup with Rhodes. Gus Dean was 11% owned, and he started, you know, one position or two positions higher up than Busher, and he was 11% owned. Busher was 48. So if you looked at, you know, how to get off of ownership, I mean, that was a great play there. Let me see. Never mind. 48.3. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, you gotta be correct with me, man. When I'm dealing with, you know, when I'm dealing with these projections and numbers, man, you gotta be correct, especially when we're trying to look back at stuff. Just meant they can't get in. Yeah, yeah, it's ridiculous that those Yahoos wrecked it. Really, shame on Tanner Gray. You know, get the fuck off the track, man. That's basic. Um, that's basic respect, man. Like if you got an issue on your car, get the hell out of here. Get off of that track. You know, wave the field off. Don't be like, oh, I guess I could have ran around for a caution. That's a big NO, driver, because you caused a big old wreck. Poor James Busher, man. I mean, Busher had such a crappy day. A poor guy, man. Poor little dude. Let me get that there. You can get these projections, my heat map and everything on my Patreon if you want to support me. Let's see what else we got here. Now we're talking. Okay. Let's see. I'll probably be live for another, 10 minutes unless I get some more people viewing and everything. But if you guys have any lineup questions or anything about this race or even about the 500, I mean, feel free to ask them. I'm just kind of killing time right now as I chit-chat everything here. God, it's hard for me to really project chalk and ownership in this race with the guys in the back in terms of not necessarily who has the most ownership, but like I know Chad Fincham is going to carry ownership, Timmy Hill, Parsons, Dillon, AJ Allmendinger, possibly Landon Castle, but I can't tell you the order of who has the most chalk and who doesn't. This is I wish qualifying would happen because I would have made this a lot easier. So I'm just going to have to gut shot it and really try to see if I can. Oops, leave the wrong thing there. I'm going to have to really see if I can try and project that when I'm making my own lineups here. All right, let's see. Any concern with stacking in the back with the weather? Do you believe will make it short? I mean, as I always say, the way that I stack from the back, I need wrecks to happen, and it hasn't. If anything, it makes my race more enjoyable because I used to be pissed off whenever leaders would wreck, and when they would tear up money. And now I don't care. They can wreck as much money as they can tear up as much money as I want. Yeah, if you think this race goes, or if you think it goes green and then ends under rain, like if we get over halfway and we haven't had a big wreck, if you think that's going to happen, I would be heavy on Ty Dillon, AJ Allmendinger, because those are about the only two guys in the back, and Landon Castle. Those are the three guys in the back that can do very well without people wrecking. You could say that with Parsons as well. You could say that with probably Chad Fincham as well. Probably Robbie Lyons too. I don't mean to keep going to the MBM guys, but I think those cars are able to do very well without cautions. on the other side of that, if they know that, hey, this race is going to be official, there's rain coming, I guarantee you these morons are going to wreck in the front of the pack, unless they're single file and they just happen to be single file, and everybody's content with where they're running. But I don't see that, because we're going to see, we're going to see early stages. I mean, we're going to have at least one stage, so that's going to box the field back up. We got 40 cars in this race now. You're telling me that not 10 of them are going to wreck at some point? I think that's very unlikely. And so, um, I mean, I'm not changing my lineup construction based on whether it's going to rain or not. I just have to believe that these guys wreck. you know, it's very, very different to how most people would view NASCAR. Like, oh, I believe these guys can race clean and everything. No, I believe these guys are going to wreck. So that's what I would do. Castle thought. I mean, Milton, I mentioned earlier that I mean, I like Castle. I like him a lot regardless. I'm afraid ownership's going to be high because everybody in the DFS space really likes Castle. Um, how much time do we got left before the thing locks here? Let's see. Okay, we got 4.5 hours, so we're fine there. A lot of people who talk DFS probably talk up Landon Castle a lot. So maybe that makes his ownership a bit higher, but there's going to be so many casuals playing. I'm curious to see if NASCAR tries to end Xfinity Race halfway if needed for tonight. Well, they wouldn't just end it halfway. Like, NASCAR makes up a lot of rules, but they would at least need rain to end it. Could cause chaos if they don't want to care. No, actually, this is the first week I think ever that's not an issue of them having to get chaos or anything like that, because they race the Daytona road course next week. Oops, wrong one. Hold on. Didn't mean to search that here. Let me go. NASCAR schedule. Let me check. I'm pretty sure they updated it to where, yeah. So they're at the road course next week. So if anything, this would probably be the one race that if they had to keep pushing races back to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the teams are already in Florida. They don't. It doesn't matter. The rain doesn't matter. Like, they don't have to get this in by like Wednesday to help the teams go to Phoenix or something. I mean, they're already in Daytona, and a lot of these teams, obviously, they can haul cars back and forth, but I would imagine a lot of these teams brought probably all 3 cars to the racetrack. Actually, they already have their Roval car there because they raced them in the Clash. So I would think that unless maybe if you brought a backup for the 500, which you probably did, but I think most teams brought 3 cars to the track. So I'm not sure if they'll be really, what is it? I don't think racing in the week is really going to hurt them a whole lot. Is Jason White's car the new 93 car from last year? Could be. Off the top of my head, I don't know right now. He does have good sponsors, though. So even if it is the 93 car, it's a Talladega race, or it's not it's a Daytona race with ownership on the car, and or not ownership, sponsorship on the car. And why do I make that such an important factor? Because typically you're not going to start and park with a good sponsor on that car, if you're going to start and park, you're going to kind of be unsponsored, or you're not going to tell, whoever's sponsoring you, be like, hey, we're going to be the first car off the track. Are you all right with sponsoring that? So when you see a car like 23 who has sponsorship and everything, I'm not really worried about Jason White. I actually really like Jason White because I don't know if people are going to play him, but he starts dead last. And so I don't know if we run the same situation as did people play Buescher yesterday because he was in a Nice Motorsports car, because it was a past champion, because he used to race in the Truck Series, or was it just because he was starting last? So that's about the only thing we really have to worry about there. Let's see, I'm almost done with this here. Let's see. Stephen Parsons there. We're going to go with Bowling there. Go with that there. We're going to go with there. Let's see, anything else? I kind of like Jeb Burton. Where is he starting off? Hell no, man, hell no. Seventh? Are you crazy? Hell no, hell no, hell no, hell no. I ain't playing Jeb Burton to save my life. Uh, actually, Godvik, or however you pronounce his name, he's a road ringer, but he's raced everything at this point. He's very close to Sam Hunt, the owner of that car. I'm pretty sure they're best buddies or something along those lines. And even if you don't have any plate experience, I mean, 39th, 39th in a Toyota car, that's pretty strong. I mean, that's a top 10 car on 1.5 miles and stuff. So I'm not concerned about him at all. I mean, if these idiots wreck, they wreck. You know, I can't project them to not wreck. What do I have? I have Brandon right now projected for around like a 26th place finish, and that's not like, oh, he's going to finish 26. That's kind of just my mean projection right now. I think he does better than that. I think if he gets in a wreck, it'll be later in the race. I don't see him being the first wreck, and so say if there's an early big wreck, that's going to, lock the last 8 finishing positions off with those guys who DNF, and then if Brandon gets into another wreck, he could finish around 26. He should finish better than that, but that's what my mean projection would be on him. And I'm trying to let me see, 7 too close. Yeah, 7. He's too. It is too close for comfort for me. Maybe as a one-off. Like if you're playing him, you got to play 5 guys from the back to offset if he wrecks. But I don't believe in Jeb Burton. He might be Ward Burton's son or cousin or whatever, but he certainly doesn't have his skill in that case. Let's see. Let me do that. Let me get this guy here. I'm almost done with the stuff for my Patreon. And we're on about 10 minutes long. What is your line for this race? Like, who is as high as you'd want to go? Okay, that's a good question. Let's take a gander. Let's take a look here. I probably make that Jeremy Clements. Everybody below him, I don't mind playing. I probably won't play them all. I'm only making 10 lineups. But Jeremy Clements would be probably the line that I would make to play half the field. Like, below him is the back half of the field. Above him would be the top. Or maybe if you look at it as Jeremy Clements would be the guy starting closest that you would start. But even with that, like Brandon Brown isn't entirely crazy. Sieg isn't crazy. I would much rather play Harrison Burton over Jeb Burton. If you're dying to play a Burton, I would much rather play Harrison Burton. Or I mean, if you believe Justin Haley can go back to back to back, play Haley. But I really like the field from 16th on back. So what is that? 26 cars. I know it's kind of an open answer there, but that's what I would do. We got some messages redacted over here. Jeb Burton has never been a card in. Exactly, the dude's trash. Hi, I'm new and I have a question. After the tragedy of 2020, I'm a Harvick fan. What? Oh, I was like, nobody died in 2020. Tragedy. Sorry, man. I make so many memes. I was like, never mind. How do they fix the playoffs? Go back to a fucking season-long playoff, or not season-long playoff, season-long champion. Man, don't get me started on it because I'm gonna rant all day about this. But these playoffs are asinine. I mean, these are it's not even racing. It's not racing. It's stupid. How the championship is determined now is just a joke. It invalidates NASCAR as a sport, in my opinion. Certainly as a motorsport. I mean, this is a joke. Everybody else, every other series runs a season-long points standings. Local tracks, IndyCar. I mean, everybody knows. Like, that's how you determine a year-long champion. If you had to pick who has the best chances to wreck, AJ or Ty. Maybe Ty, slightly. I think there's a good chance that both these cars are running inside the top 5 for most of the race. Like, obviously they got to get through the field, but if they get up to the front, I don't see them leaving the front. Um, I meant Jeb as a one-off and 5 in the back. My phone. No, you're good. I still don't like Jeb as a one-off. If you're playing 5 guys from the back, like yikes, man. I don't believe in Jeb that much at all. I could be wrong. Watch this idiot finish third again, like he did at Dega, but I don't like him. Let's see. Well, I think I can assume you watched Martinsville. Yeah. Oh, cool. You got a Ricky Crape. Man, I got so many autographs. I got so many t-shirts. Not even not even trying. You know, back when I was little, we go to the racetrack and stuff. I mean, I got. Let me try. Let's see. I got Bobby Labonte, Kurt Busch, Kyle Petty, Richard Petty, Trevor Bayne, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch. I don't know if I already mentioned him. Casey Mears, Marcus Ambrose. I got quite a bit more. I can't remember. I got all the speed, all the speed crew that used to do the early races. I met them. They were really cool, and I think that is what really made me enjoy NASCAR when I was a kid. Is that just how nice, you know, Kyle Petty, Kenny Wallace. I have his autograph too. Steve Burns, of course. Shame that he passed away, but all those guys were super nice to me as a kid, and so that really helped. We're here to take money. Let's go. Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, I got a shitload of shirts, man. You know, uh, I joke that I dislike. Actually, I do. I dislike NASCAR. I dislike the organization. I dislike the leadership and how it goes. But I love racing. So, you know, I've gone. This last year was the first time I didn't go to Phoenix because I lost my ticket to the championship race. But I've gone to Phoenix every year since 2010 or 11. No, it was 11 because I met Trevor Bayne the week after he won the 500. Let's see. Is everyone playing tie? Then they have to be. Yeah. That's why they're the chalk because everybody's gonna be playing them. I'm confused because I can't watch the ARCA race. Why can't you watch the ARCA race? Did it cancel? I haven't kept up with the news. Did they cancel the ARCA race? I gotta finish these projections for the Patreon. I got distracted. See, you get me on my rants and I start complaining about NASCAR and everything else. And I think Ryan Vargas wrecks. I'm just putting that out there. Ryan Vargas would probably wreck. Kobe Howard would probably wreck. Let's see here. Let me finish some stuff over here, then I'll go back to reading chat in a moment. Let me just finish here. Let me do that. Let me do this here. I got a few more guys to go over, and then we're gonna be all good to go. Let's see what else we got here. How did you lose? Oh, my ticket because COVID. I didn't have a season pass to Phoenix. We used to go to both races, my mom and I. And the last 2 years we haven't gone to the spring race because it's not that good of a race. The only reason we were going to go to Phoenix this last year because we were going to start going to different tracks because we had gone to Phoenix, you know, for like 6 or 7, 8 years or whatever. And so we were going to start going to different tracks, and Phoenix happened to be the championship, and we're like, well, we could just go to the championship race, you know. And so we bought the championship tickets back in like March of last year, or whenever they went on sale, March or April, and we bought them. And then when COVID happened and everything, they were like, oh, sorry, we're taking these tickets away because you aren't a season ticket holder, but we can move this credit to next year's race, which is this year's. And so we just moved the tickets from last year's championship to this year. So hopefully I can go to the championship this year. Have you already discussed? Yeah, I've discussed Dovik. I don't have any issue with it. I don't have a channel for the ARCA race. Just go on Twitch. Search up Twitch, man. Everybody streams on Twitch. Or go to Reddit. If you go to NASCAR Reddit, they usually have a thread page for all the races. They have streams on there to watch. I'm still ready for the 500, which without rain. Yeah. This 500 is going to be fucking horrible, man. It's going to be great for DFS, but there's going to be so many wrecks. Oh my lord. NASCAR is there's such a bunch of hypocrites. They're like, we got to slow these cars down. They're going too fast. We're going to kill people. And then they build a package that just puts guys, you know, nose to tail, throughout the field with these big old runs. I understand what they're trying to get to. They're trying to get to the mid 2000s style of pack racing, but I mean, this Gen 6 car and this Gen 7 car next year is just ruining the sport, man. Just ruining the sport. Let's see. Okay, I got that done. Now I can finish this, and then we should all be good to go. I guess I'll be live till I finish this. He's gone. He had an electrical outage in his area, so he is not here today. That's why I don't have the sheet on here, because it's not mine. I don't want to take credit for it. I don't want anybody being like, why are you taking credit for Pierce's sheet? So that's why he's not here. Let's see, but I appreciate you guys stopping by and staying with me and everything like that. Here, we're just gonna fucking hold on. Let me finish that. Finish that. Finish that. Wrong one. Oops. Finish that. And let me finish that. And then we are almost done there. Almost done here. Any other questions we got here? Are you still doing the booze? Negative. We only did that a couple years, Enzo and I, or a couple times last year. That was before I was with DFS Tavern. I am no longer with them this year, so I am on my own. So, sorry, hold on. I'm trying to finish this real quick. I'm still in a DFS Tavern's Discord, but I'm more of like a moderator where I just make sure nobody's cursing at each other. But since I make everything on my own now, no more Booze Cruise. That's a cool name too. Same. Let's see. I got that. Let's see, and then let me get these guys. Okay, so that's done for Patreon. Let me just upload this. Let me upload that. What else you guys got? Any other questions? Thoughts on White starting for it? Love White. He's a good play. Might be chalky, might not. He'll be chalky if people are just playing the guy starting last. He'll be chalky if people keep hearing. I think he'll be very chalky, because I imagine that all the discords, all the sites are going to be like, play White. So, well, then again, he might only be known in our little pool here, in our little DFS industry thing. So maybe the casuals don't play him. So maybe I got to be overweight on White in some of the other GPPs. We'll figure it out there. All right. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find what? What are we looking at? That's not someone. The prices tomorrow on FanDuel is hilarious. You have 2K. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. It's always like that. It's always like that. They always price those guys, and you're going to get very low ownership on them. That's all I say. Even Super Draft, too. If you look at Super Draft, obviously it's a multiplier. It's a multiplier format. And you have people like Cody Ware, BJ McLeod like 2x, and then if you put them in the captain, it's like 3x, which is, that's just how it is. They, you got to price those guys low, or if you're doing it by, what the algorithms say and everything like that. That's what I was thinking, because these people on Facebook just think he's a scrub. Yeah, it just depends on really what the public's perception of him is. Let's see. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, because I've been up for 50 minutes, and this was originally only going to be like 25 minutes like that. So hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully I answered your questions. Thank you for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be play the guys in the back, man. Don't give a fuck who it is. Get low owner. You're going to get such low ownership. Just play guys in the back. That's what I'm going to do. You guys have a great time. Best of luck today. Hopefully we get to see some wrecks today in the ARCA race or Xfinity race or something like that. If not, we'll get them later in the week. You have a good day. Thank you for tuning in and everything. I do appreciate that. And we'll chat tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Pearson.